Hey everybody, what's up? It's Hold the Truth Hostage. This is Pop the Culture, where we pop the culture to find the truth. Alright, well, there's a big thing that's been going on with Hollywood. I think about since probably the 2010s, since the 2010s. And what I think that's been, it's straight baiting. Let me repeat that, straight baiting. Basically, they'll advertise the movie as though it's a movie for, straight people. They'll have straight interest. And then what you see in the movie is, stuff that promotes, LGBTQ and, gay material, lesbian material, and so on. And what's happened is we have a lack of transparency. For example, we've had the Hollywood rating system for quite some time, PG-13, rated G, rated R, rated, 17, whatever. We've had all these ratings, and even TV shows have ratings, where what to expect when it comes to the level of violence. But we do not have a sexuality featured. And I think what we have to do from now on, the way I look at it, until they feature a sexuality featured, where they're going to be transparent, not just about the rating of the film, but also the sexuality featured on it, I say don't watch it. One thing I can say, the 90s, 80s, when they advertised something, you got what was advertised. A lot of people were complaining about what happened with the Immortals. It was advertised as a straight film, with straight characters. Then they went to watch it and they saw, some gay scenes here and there. And at the end of the day, I'm not against people's sexuality. I just think you have to be transparent about the sexuality featured on the film instead of straight baiting people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the, and that's the funny thing about Hollywood. They've been faking this whole, we stand up for gay people, the LGBTQ community, we stand up for them. Look, we got a first gay character here and there, when it's all lies, because since the 90s, gay people, LGBTQ community have already had their own channels, their own TV networks, their own brands, their own networks. But what Hollywood's done, just as Hollywood has done with false diversity, they've done this false narrative of promoting sexuality. Basically, the way Hollywood works is, if we didn't do it, if we, the Hollywood execs and Hollywood studios, did not publish it, it never happened, So that's what they've been doing. Basically pretending as though they're the ones promoting gay films and so on, when people have had studios doing that for years, over decades, And what it's done, they do this a lot, where they straight bait, They basically advertise the film as though it's for straight people, TV series, whatever. Then you go watch it, and bam, it's got nothing. It's not 100% straight of a series, Yeah, so what they do is they just advertise something as though it's for straight people. Then they basically throw in other sexualities there. It's straight baiting. And what I think is, until they start putting a sexuality featured, you just gotta assume it has that. Now, a lot of these studios, and there's a whole market campaign out there where, oh, well, if you're comfortable with your sexuality, you should be comfortable watching this. Because what they've done is they've put themselves at a pedestal where they're entitled to your money, and they're entitled to dictate what you should and shouldn't watch. If someone's straight, which is their sexuality, they won't be interested in something that has nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? What Hollywood's been trying to do is they've been trying to force a sexuality on someone that's straight. You know what I mean? So what they do, they've been doing this whole narrative, well, if you're comfortable with your sexuality, well, the thing is this, if you're comfortable with your sexuality, you're only gonna view and pursue what has to do with your sexuality. You're not gonna challenge it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you do challenge it and participate on activity that isn't of your sexuality, then you're changing your sexuality. And what Hollywood's been trying to do and trying to pretend as though they're the first ones to make a lesbian film character, first ones to make gay characters, LGBTQ, whatever you want to call it, when they've had studios and they even have their own TV networks. You know, that's the funny thing about Hollywood. All they're doing is falsification. You got false diversity where, look, black people, you matter. We'll put you in European history to let you know that you only matter when you're participating within our history. We won't reach out to black people and make a historically accurate film or series from your own people. You know what I'm saying? That's the funny thing about Hollywood, this whole fraudulent behavior. And the thing is, you know, they're attacking the straight male. I mean, that's what it's been since 2010s. It's been straight bashing 24/7. And what this does is, I mean, it only makes the people that are straight further push away. You know what I mean? A lot of movies these days, there's a lot of people that aren't even watching current movies anymore. They're just avoiding them because they already know it's only transparent when it comes to the rating of the film. It's not transparent with the sexuality. So the way I look at it, and I made this little thing called Sexuality Featured. You know, we need that. We need that on films, on comic books, you know, on TV series. We need that so you can let people know whether this challenges their sexuality or it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It ain't fair that you'll have, well, you know, rated R, rated PG-13. You'll have all these ratings for the age of the content, but you won't have a sexuality featured. You know, that's what's been harming. And you know, another thing is what it does is it creates a lot of antagonistic perspective between straight people and, you know, gay people, whatever you want, LGBTQ, whatever you want to call it. It creates this great divide because you have them forcing a sexuality agenda on straight people on one end, and the funny thing is on the opposite end they won't do it because they don't want to admit there's a certain genre for a certain type of people. You know, there's a genre for certain types of people. It's like there's straight content, and here's the thing about straight content that Hollywood just proves how stupid they are. You know what I'm saying? When a gay person watches a straight film, they still can have their interests. They look at that straight lead male character from a gay perspective. So there's a sexual interest on that straight male character. It doesn't challenge their sexuality when they watch a straight film. Then you have, for example, a lesbian. If a lesbian watches a straight film, what happens is they basically are looking at the lead female character with sexual interest. So what happens is you have straight content appealing to all sexualities. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. Now, when you have the polar opposite, it completely changes. You know what I mean? You're not going to see a straight guy watching a gay film. You're not going to see the women, they kind of, maybe the women you'll see watching a gay film, because the women, you know, watching a gay film, for them, they'll be looking at the gay male with potential sexual interest. You know what I'm saying? So for the women, it doesn't challenge their sexuality, because they can still fantasize that gay male character, they have a sexual fantasy about him. You know what I'm saying? Where they either wish he was straight or whatever. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really challenge that. Just as a lesbian film wouldn't really challenge a straight man's sexuality, you know, not really at all. You know what I'm saying? So, because that straight man going to watch that lesbian film will basically, depending on the lead female actress appearance, that straight male might have a sexual interest in that lead lesbian character. You know what I mean? But but as you can see, there's a major divide when you push further away from the film just being straight. You know what I mean? So to me, they don't even push the narrative on a polar opposite side where, hey, why aren't you gay people watching more straight characters? You want to know why? Because they're not interested in that. They have their own genre. You know what I mean? A genre tailored to their sexuality. And, you know, that's what you have today with the majority of films. And the thing about this, man, Hollywood is basically on a downward spiral. You know, they're basically, what they don't get, and how you could tell Hollywood is in the past, is what they don't get is that the average person has so much choice today, so much choice on what to watch, what to listen to. I mean, be it a podcast they could listen to, you know, a gamer playing video games, whatever, participation. There's so much content that you have a choice to consume. And what Hollywood's doing, I made a video, YouTube and nostalgia, whatever. And as you can watch, a lot of kids these days are growing up watching their favorite YouTuber. They're not growing up watching the old films from the 1990s, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, like we had to during the 1990s and 2000s, where you didn't really have too much internet, so you watched what you could when it was on TV. So what Hollywood is basically doing, they're sacrificing an entire generation. And, you know, again, I plan to do this on another video, why the narrative against the straight male is basically gonna sacrifice generations of potential new fans and so on, you know. But basically, this narrative of not being transparent about the sexuality featured on the film series and TV shows, it's only going to create a situation where far less people watch and participate on these series, because people are looking at it as, hey man, this is just here to challenge my sexuality and dictate what I should be watching, and they try to force it on you, where they'll bait the content as though it's a straight material, only for you to find out, well, yeah, it's a gay film. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what's happening. So I would say, man, there's got to be a push for sexuality featured. That way, when people go watch something, they're not straight baited, you know what I mean? Or they're not gay baited or LGBTQ baited, where an LGBTQ person might go watch the film only to see that, yeah, it's a straight film. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they're doing this, and it's just that Hollywood now is in, you know, I never thought I'd see this, you know, from the 90s. In the 90s, they told you a simple thing: the customer is always right. A until the customer does something wrong, basically endanger other people and so on. But in today's age, companies are having a sense of entitlement and a sense of seeking to dictate where you spend your money and force you out of your comfort zone. You know what I mean? I was watching, what was that movie? What is that TV show? And I had to fast forward this episode. It was, what was it? Invincible on Netflix. I mean, not Netflix, on Amazon Prime. Invincible. When I was watching Invincible, they clearly had a scene where they attacked straight men on that episode about that guy having a boyfriend or some crap. And he clearly said, well, this is the face of an alpha male. Look at him. It basically suggested that the only alpha males are gay men on that episode. You know what I'm saying? When the majority of men, and when the process of seeking to give life is to be straight, the majority, but this is the type of propaganda they're selling. They're straight baiting, gay baiting, lesbian baiting, LGBTQ baiting, because Hollywood is nothing more than an anti-transparent, forceful agenda, type of corporation and company, so to me, you really gotta do your research, and you gotta really start looking at it, that if something doesn't have a sexuality featured, you don't need to watch it. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing, what Hollywood doesn't get is that, or they do get, but they're so arrogant and don't give a damn, is that a lot of people review films. They'll review it and let you know this happened and that happened, so you don't have to watch it. You know what I'm saying? So they'll give you the reviews and you don't have to watch it. So, and what's happening with all this anti-straight agenda and straight baiting and sexuality baiting content is that a lot of the people that made money in Hollywood, those that are older, that already made their money, they're sacrificing the new creators, the new actors, new directors. They're sacrificing them, those that would be working with them, with all this agenda and garbage, But the great thing also is that we're in an age with YouTube, Amazon, and we're in an age of technology. You could literally film a whole film with a set of phones. The technology has advanced that much. It's advanced to that point. So a lot of content creators, YouTubers, are literally stepping away from Hollywood to begin with. They're making their own series, making their own films, and so on. Even Amazon, that's done a lot of false diversity and malpractice when it comes to straight baiting and just putting agenda ahead of transparency. Even they're suffering. Even they're an avenue to release your content. For example, you got content creators. You can upload your stuff directly on Amazon for sale. So Amazon, with their own money, as you could see with the Ring of Power based on Lord of the Rings, with all that false diversity, Amazon, with their own money, they're gonna make garbage. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of garbage is going on. But what's going on is the average person and a lot of new content creators, even from high school, they're making their own content. And what's going to happen is you're going to see a very individualistic rise when it comes to content creation, film, we already have a lot of independence anyway, and it's gonna keep rising. But I'd say what the independent filmmaker and what the independent comic book creator and far more creators that are doing visual content, you know, be it a novel and so on, they need to start featuring sexuality featured along with the age rating for the content. That way you're completely transparent with what you're selling, you know, because the way I look at it, my rating scale is this, man. If it was made in 2010 to 2020, don't trust it. You know what I'm saying? Don't trust it. Look for the trailers, look for the reviews. Odds are it's gonna disappoint you. It's gonna have agenda on it, you know? That's what's gonna happen. So a lot of people are skipping past content to begin with, you know? It's a funny time, man. Hollywood picked the wrong time, you know, the wrong time to do all this stupidity. You know what I'm saying? Let me take this crap off. Yeah. Hollywood picked the wrong time to do all this stupid crap. But like I said, man, until they put a sexuality featured on their content, I personally wouldn't trust it, you know. Because all they're doing right now with their entitlement for your money, well, you should watch this film. We worked so hard on it. You should give us your money. You must. In fact, they don't even say should anymore. They say you must give us your money. You must give us your money. You know, we're Hollywood. You must. It doesn't matter if you're uncomfortable sexually. It doesn't matter if you have children and you don't want them to see this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? You must give us your money, your hard-earned money, because nothing you do matters than us promoting our agenda. Our agenda is to reform you of discomfort of your sexuality and identity. You must support, and you are ordered to go buy tickets. I mean, there's a movie reviewer on YouTube, and he said some of the dumbest things I heard. You know, I won't say his name, I can't remember it, but he literally said, yeah, we need to stop avoiding these films because I miss blockbusters, and we need to just give these directors the benefit of the doubt. Really what he's saying is they're entitled to your money. Go support these blockbusters. When this guy has a channel where he reviews films and he gets sponsored and he gets, you know, freebies or free film screenings. That's another thing. A lot of people that support the agenda think the average person is stupid. Think the average person is stupid to where you will just go about and support whatever they want to watch, you know, or support whoever's funding it, you know. Well, you know, go support Hollywood because, you know, they deserve your money. You're gonna see some idiots saying that, when in reality, dude, it's your hard-earned money. You have to choose what you do with it, you know. But, you know, like I said, I don't want to ramble on anymore, but, you know, this has been Hold the Truth Hostage with Pop the Culture. We must pop the culture to figure out the truth. All right, peace.